Morning! Take 2, I think. So I started doing a live and then it said it had been deleted off Facebook. So that was fun. All I can see is this reflection on my face. Hi! Hope we've had a lovely weekend. I'll just check, as always, that I'm where I'm supposed to be and that it's actually working this time. So I think I've got a nice little snippet on YouTube that's like 2 seconds long. Yes, I'm there. It just doesn't tell me anything that it's about. Hi. Hope you've had a lovely, lovely weekend. Hope you didn't suffer too badly with the snow. We had loads. It was wonderful, apart from the schools closing on Friday when Tom and I had a day off to ourselves that we booked off and had booked off for freaking ever. Cadbury's gave Tom an unplugged day, so the whole company got a day off. And we'd had it all planned out, and then the school was shut because that's my freaking life with children. Hey, Moo, how are you? Hi, Jade. I'll be seeing you in like an hour or less. So if you're on live, come and say hello. If you're watching on replay, tell me that you're watching. Today, I'm going to talk about online storage, which sounds like super boring and probably is, but so freaking important. I've had a couple of people recently who have broken their laptops, and trying to get stuff off of there when it's not saved in the cloud is just horrific. I've just undertaken a huge thing of moving everything over from one cloud storage to another in a bid to save money because I was paying for one that I didn't need anymore, that I used to have from an old business. Online storage is just so important. So if you're on the chat, if you're live now, give me a shout. If you use online storage, which one do you use? Did you pick it for any reason? Do you save all of your stuff in there? And I mean all of your stuff. So online storage and cloud storage are exactly the same thing. They sound like it's a complex thing and people use this term really regularly, but it rarely gets explained as to what it actually is. And cloud storage or online storage is basically a service where you can securely store all your files, all your documents, all your photos, all your videos, all your spreadsheets, all your photos, everything somewhere safe. And you can access it on any of your devices and some things that aren't your devices from anywhere in the world. Moo uses iCloud. I am an avid anti-Appler, so I don't use iCloud, obviously, but great job. Yeah, so you can access this stuff anywhere. So if my laptop broke, I could just jump onto Jade's and get all of my stuff off still. When I was traveling Australia, I could upload my pictures into cloud storage and Jade could look at them here if she wanted to. Your eldest daughter sorted it. You do when you remember. Oh my gosh, please, please, please do, especially following this. So the question I get asked loads about is the whole idea about cloud storage for business, especially small businesses, because some of this cloud storage costs money. Like Dropbox is about 95 quid a year. What's this bit? But it is vital. It is so, so vital. So not just for you. And the thing is, when you're a small business, it's often just you. And it's really easy to overlook this because you use one laptop, you access all your stuff in the same place. It's really easy to kind of just ignore it and just save all your stuff on your laptop. Laptops' memories are getting smaller and smaller. So actually, this is getting more and more important. But it's really important for productivity. It allows you to remote work. It allows you to be able to log on to something else. Excuse me. But lots of the reasons that we're doing this is to be able to share stuff with other people, but to be able to keep it secure. Yeah, if anything happens to your computer, which nobody thinks it does, nobody thinks anything's going to happen to it until it does. Excuse me. I've had a dodgy cough for 2 weeks. It's not even a real cough. It's like a really pathetic cough. So if you're working remotely, if you like to go out and co-work, so in a minute, we're off out co-working. If you have a PC that you use, you can't take your PC off co-working. You might be able to take your laptop. But lots of the women that arrive come and work on their phones or bring a little tablet and they do some work on that. If you weren't storing your stuff in the cloud, you wouldn't be able to access it on different devices in different places. And that ability to share things is so important. So as your business grows, potentially, or as you get a VA that comes to start to help you, or as you get a Jade who comes to help me. Can you wave, Jade?
Far too busy.
She's far too busy, she says. the ability to be able to, for Jade to access my files and stuff is so important. And again, I can just make sure she only accesses the ones that I want her to do. Good morning, someone. Anisha, hi. Anisha says, hi, Jade. Hi. Why don't you come co-working, Anisha? You've got time to get over here now. So anyway, lots of reasons why you should use this. Productivity, hugely important one. Don't have time to waste. Cloud storage is reliable. It's always accessible. Doesn't shut down for updates like your own servers might do. Dead useful. It's dead cost effective. And this is, again, a bit of a fight with small businesses because saving everything on your laptop is free, technically. However, there are lots of free versions that you can use of cloud storage, and there's lots of ones that come included in things. So for example, if you subscribe to Microsoft Office, you get a chunk of cloud storage from Microsoft OneDrive for free that's accessible for you there. It does not have to be expensive. Compared with the idea of kind of renting server space, it's ridiculously cheap and it's protected. Like it's done in the sense of it's protected from hackers and malware and stuff like that. So they do all of the work for you is basically what I'm trying to say. When I host a website, I have to do all of that work. So the cloud storage companies, so whoever you choose to use, do all of that for you. So it's also dead secure. And apparently, I don't know where I got this from, I'm not sure, but 58% of cyber attacks target small businesses because they're usually really, really easy and really vulnerable. Cloud storage offers a bit of a solution for that. So it really does have robust security measures that stop this kind of thing. And it can encrypt your files. It can do a heck of a lot more than just having them on your desktop. Your desktop could get hacked, like, easily enough. So while it's not a true backup solution, and we could always argue that you should be moving stuff out onto a hard drive or a memory stick or whatever, and for your most important things, it might be really, really useful to do that. Generally, it's a pretty good coverall. So the best cloud storage for business is a question I get asked loads. It depends, and it depends like what kind of user you are. So Moo says iCloud. Obviously, I'm never going to say iCloud because I don't use Apple. Dropbox is fab, quite expensive. Microsoft OneDrive, if you subscribe to Office, you get a chunk free. You get a small chunk free anyway. And often, if you have a Google around them, there are different ways you can get free stuff. So like Amazon, if you have Amazon Prime, you get Amazon Photos included, which allows you to upload all your photos there for free. Google also do Google Photos, which is a great one. All my photos in Google Photos. Google do their Google Drive, and you get a load of that just by having a Gmail address. But it depends on how much you need, what you're using it for. You can kind of do a bit of a hybrid approach, a bit of a hack. So you could save all of your photos to one type of thing. You can save all your business stuff to another type. So you can kind of milk the online storage that you can get for a good price or for free with your stuff, and have different things in different places. Who uses OneDrive too, and Dropbox. I was using Dropbox and OneDrive, and then I had Google Drive for a few things, but I'm just in the process of moving everything out of Dropbox onto OneDrive because I've got massive storage in there that I wasn't using, yet I was paying for the OneDrive one. So that was obviously nonsensical when my Dropbox renewal came around. So I've moved everything into OneDrive. I've got a few things I share with people in Dropbox, but I will be moving it all over, but just for that reason that it's already paid for in OneDrive for me. So in terms of best one, I don't know for a fact there is a best. The prices change frequently. Have a little check around. Like Google sent me something through on the Play Store the other day that gave me a huge amount of storage for about £1 something a month for really cheap, but the offer came through Play Store. So lots of this is have a look around, but I totally advise where you can. like cleansing your stuff, going through it and really seeing all the stuff that you've got there. So when you've got time, so your full Dropbox have a really big look through that, see how much crap you can get rid of. Because my migration over was a wonderful little task, and I got rid of so much stuff, so much old branding, so much stuff on my old businesses that was entirely irrelevant to me now. But I also found loads of useful stuff. I found loads of stuff that I've said to Jade, like, can we remake this in my new branding? Can we repurpose some of this content that I've got from before that's really still valuable and still valid? It might not talk in the way I talk now, or it might be something that I never even created before that I was waiting on and saving. So I'll be moving to iCloud, Dropbox, OneDrive, and Google need to streamline. Yeah, Nisha uses all Apple stuff. So yeah, that makes sense. However, there's nothing wrong with having stuff in different places as long as you know where the heck it is. So like I said, I have my photos in one place. I have some of our family stuff in Google Drive that just sort of sits in Google Drive, and I don't use it for business. But I know if I need copies of something, or like when I did my whole family tree history stuff, like that all sits in Google Drive. You can use them for different things, providing you're organised and you have any idea what's going on. Disadvantages of cloud storage. There's a couple. I wondered who was angry at me, Jackie, but I assumed it was something funny. Jackie's dog is very angry at me, apparently. It's because you're leaving him to come and co-work. Are you coming to co-work? Maybe you're not. Maybe I made that up. If you're not, why not? Anyway, I'm sorry your dog's cross at me. Disadvantages of cloud storage. So you've got to have an internet connection. That can be a real pain in the butt. I sometimes go work at Costa, and Costa only gives you 30 minutes internet. And it's fine because I can tether off my phone when I remember. But after those 30 minutes, I'm trying to get into something and I can't get into it. Very annoying. However, that's getting less and less of a problem. Like, we've got internet basically everywhere. And you can download some of the stuff in cloud storage on certain devices so you can use it offline. But obviously, you could only use it on that device offline, and it's not the same on another one until you get back to internet and it uploads all your amendments, any changes you make. So if I went to work somewhere on a file and I was changing it, but it was an offline file, and then I asked Jade to look at it in a different place, she wouldn't be able to see my updates if I wasn't online. Does that make any sense? So yeah, you need an internet connection. Extra space costs money. That is why you can take advantage of using free ones and not necessarily streamlining, but having stuff in different places. That can be really, really useful. There's always going to be security and privacy concerns in terms of hacking if you're putting anything on the cloud, because you're relying on other companies to protect your stuff, but you're kind of always going to have that wherever. You have to kind of have a bit of faith that it looks really bad for the company if they get hacked, so they're doing everything they can to make sure that doesn't happen. What shouldn't you store? Now, this is an interesting one, and not always one that you kind of adhere to a little bit. So you shouldn't store things like dates of birth, card details, employee details, and stuff on the cloud. Really, really tricky one. So, for example, they're all out of date now, but I had our passports scanned and uploaded to the cloud. I think I had to send them electronically for something. And I had all our passports just sat in my Google Drive for ages. Like, that's just asking for trouble, technically. And I won't have a leg to stand on if anything happened, because I've kind of left it there. So that sort of stuff, don't store there. Anything that would be protected kind of under the Data Protection Act, under the Information Commissioner's Office, don't store it in the cloud because you don't have control over it. All of this is your choice. And this is the thing as small business owners, you get to choose what you do with everything. Just be as smart as you can and minimize the risks wherever you can. It's always going to be a tricky one. Should you get a personal business account is a question I get asked loads about. It depends. Business account is always going to be the better choice because it has features like admin controls, and you can collaborate with other people, and higher security levels. Generally, bigger storage almost always. Like, the free storages are often for personal accounts. Better support. But Again, it completely depends on your needs. You don't have to, like legally, have a business account as a business owner, just like you don't have to have a business bank account, just a separate one, unless you're a limited company. So if you're a sole trader, there's no reason for you to have a business bank account. Business accounts will give you more features, but until you're at that stage, don't do it. I mean, one thing you'll always hear me talking about is that you don't spend money at the start of running your business. You do everything in the best way you can to build your business until you have that money to be able to spend. And that's not the same as reinvesting it. You will pay money to make your life easier, which is important, but is not the first thing you do in business. The first thing you do in business is save your money. And even after, like I said, I'm coming away from Dropbox because I don't want to pay £95 a month when I've already got storage over there. It's just a big faffy task to move it. And it has to be something that I consciously choose to do rather than get forced into doing because I've got stuff everywhere. So you don't have to have a business account at all. Find a way of getting as much storage as you need. So that is my sum up of online storage. Any questions? Chuck them in. If you've got any questions after on replay, just tag me. I will come back and answer them. After this, I am off to Balls Over. So we're running a co-working session. I think there's 8 of us coming to this one. I think a couple of you might be there already. I think Jade and Amy were going early. I don't know if anyone else is. Not this Jade, obviously, because she's sat here. So I don't know if anyone else is going early. Are you there now, Jade, if you can still hear me? She tried to watch me last time. I had to turn the volume down because, you know, my mouth. So I'm going to do that now. If you're local, you're very welcome. It's not a club. Well, it is kind of a club, but it's a fun club. But you don't have to join. You can come and co-work with us if you want to. Am I back next week? No idea.
Next week, yeah, it's Benny's, so it's afternoon.
Thank you, Jade. Yes, I'm back next week, but I'll be here at 2:00 next week because we have live networking in the morning. So again, if you're local to Chesterfield, drop me a message and come and hang out with us. So yeah, I'm back next week at 2:00. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Any idea, Jade?
Yes, your favourite business reads.
Ooh.
Favourite reads for business owners.
Fabulous. I'm talking about my favourite reads for business owners. Jade, I remember making a list like weeks ago because Jade told me it was for next week when it wasn't for next week at all. It was ages away. So I've got a huge list of my favourite books for business owners. So that's a really, really good one next week. And obviously like a really brilliant one for me because I love reading. Okay, that's my lot. Have a brilliant, brilliant week. If you need anything at all, jump in and ask me. Pop me a message if you want something direct. But if you've got a question, just put it in the group and we will get back to you. All right, ladies, I'll see some of you in half an hour-ish. Have a great week. Bye.